The vast expanse of space held many secrets, but none as surprising as the true nature of humanity. Among the stars, a group of alien races had formed a powerful alliance. They called themselves the Galactic Consortium. These beings, with their advanced technology and ancient civilizations, thought they knew everything about the universe. But they were wrong. In a distant corner of the Milky Way, Earth and its colonies stood alone. Humans had only recently joined the galactic community. They were seen as newcomers, inexperienced, and weak. The consortium looked down on them, especially when it came to matters of war. "Humans are terrible at fighting," said Zaxnar, a high-ranking official in the consortium. His tentacles waved dismissively as he addressed the council. "They have no natural weapons, no armor. Their bodies are soft and easily damaged." The council members nodded in agreement. They had studied human history and found it chaotic and primitive. Wars fought with simple weapons, conflicts over resources and land. It all seemed so basic. "We should teach them a lesson," suggested another alien, its eye stalks twitching with excitement. "Show them how real warfare is conducted." The idea spread quickly through the consortium. They would attack a small human colony, demonstrating their superiority. It would be easy, they thought. A quick victory to put humans in their place. Little did they know, they were about to make the biggest mistake in galactic history. On the human colony world of New Eden, life went on as usual. Farmers tended their crops under twin suns. Miners dug deep into the planet's crust, searching for valuable minerals. Families played in parks, enjoying the warm breeze. Sarah Chen, the colony's governor, sat in her office reviewing reports. A former soldier, she had a feeling something wasn't right. The long-range sensors had been acting up lately. She made a note to have them checked again. In orbit around New Eden, a small defense fleet stood guard. Captain Michael Okonkwo commanded the flagship, an old but reliable cruiser named Defender. He and his crew ran drills regularly, staying sharp despite years of peace. "Another quiet day," Michael said, looking out at the stars. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Aisha Rashid, nodded. "Sometimes I wonder why we even bother with these patrols." They had no idea that their quiet day was about to turn into the fight of their lives. At the edge of the solar system, space rippled and tore. Massive consortium warships emerged from faster-than-light travel. Their hulls gleamed with strange metals unknown to human science. Weapons that could shatter planets hummed with energy. "Pitiful," the consortium fleet commander sneered, looking at the scans of New Eden's defenses. "This will be over before it begins." The alien ships moved forward, confident in their victory. They saw the human colony as an easy target, a simple way to prove their dominance. Back on New Eden, alarms began to blare. Sarah Chen rushed to the command center, her mind racing with possibilities. "What's happening?" she demanded. A young technician looked up, fear in his eyes. "Multiple unknown contacts, Governor. They're huge." In orbit, Captain Okonkwo's calm exterior hid his racing thoughts. "Battle stations," he ordered. "And get me a direct line to Earth. We're going to need help." As the crew of the Defender scrambled to their posts, Michael allowed himself a grim smile. The aliens thought humans were bad at war. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The consortium fleet approached, weapons charging. They expected an easy victory, a simple demonstration of their power. Instead, they were about to face the full fury of humanity's fighting spirit. New Eden's small defense force stood ready, outnumbered but unafraid. Sarah Chen rallied the colonists, activating emergency protocols honed by years of drills. Captain Okonkwo and his ships formed a protective screen around the planet. The stage was set. The consortium's misconception about human warfare was about to be shattered, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The skies above New Eden turned dark as the consortium fleet approached. Their massive ships blocked out the stars, casting long shadows over the human colony. On the ground, people looked up in fear and wonder. Governor Sarah Chen's voice crackled over the colony speakers. Citizens of New Eden, this is not a drill. We are under attack. Please follow emergency procedures and stay calm. In orbit, Captain Michael Okonkwo gripped the arms of his command chair. His small fleet of 5 ships faced an armada of over 50 alien vessels. The odds were not in their favor. All ships, battle formation Delta. Michael ordered, remember your training. We fight not just for ourselves, but for all of humanity. The human ships moved into position, their engines glowing bright against the darkness of space. They looked tiny compared to the consortium warships, but size wasn't everything. On the Lid consortium ship, Fleet Commander Zixlon watched with amusement. Look at them, he said to his officers. They think they can fight us with those primitive vessels. His second-in-command, Sub-Commander Kree, nodded. Shall we begin the attack, sir? Zixlon waved a tentacle dismissively. Fire at will. Let's show these humans what real warfare looks like. The alien ships opened fire. Beams of energy and plasma torpedoes streaked across space towards the human fleet. It seemed impossible that the small Earth ships could survive such an onslaught. But Captain Okonkwo was ready. Evasive maneuvers, he shouted. Activate point defense systems. To the consortium's shock, the human ships danced between the incoming fire. Their movements were unpredictable, making them hard to hit. When a shot did come close, small, fast-firing guns on the human ships shot it down. Impossible, Zixlon exclaimed. How are they avoiding our attacks? On the bridge of the Defender, Lieutenant Aisha Rashid allowed herself a small smile. They underestimated us, sir, she said to Captain Okonkwo. They thought we'd be easy targets. Michael nodded. Then let's show them how wrong they are. All ships, prepare to return fire. The human fleet's guns roared to life. While not as powerful as the alien weapons, they were precise. The first volley struck a consortium ship, punching through its shields and damaging its hull. Alarms blared on the alien vessel. We've been hit, an officer cried out. How? Their weapons shouldn't be able to harm us. Zixlon's face turned a dark shade of purple in anger. Impossible. Increase firepower. Destroy them all. The space battle intensified. The consortium ships unleashed everything they had, filling the void with deadly energy. But the human fleet refused to go down easily. They weaved and dodged, their smaller size now an advantage in the crowded battlefield. On New Eden's surface, Sarah Chen coordinated the ground defenses. Activate the planetary shields, she ordered. A shimmer appeared in the sky as an energy barrier formed around the colony. Just in time, too. A stray shot from the space battle streaked towards the planet. It struck the shield, dissipating in a spectacular light show. The colonists cheered, their faith in their protectors growing. Back in space, Captain Okonkwo's fleet had managed to destroy 3 consortium ships, but they had lost 2 of their own in the process. The battle was far from over. Sir, Lieutenant Rashid reported, our shields are down to 30%. We can't take much more of this. Michael's face was grim but determined. We don't need to win, he said. We just need to hold out until help arrives. Every minute we fight is another minute for Earth to send reinforcements. The consortium fleet pressed their attack, confident that victory was near. But as the battle raged on, doubt began to creep into their minds. These humans were fighting with a ferocity they had never seen before. Zixlon watched in disbelief as another of his ships exploded. This isn't possible, he muttered. They're supposed to be weak, easy to defeat. As the first wave of the alien attack faltered, the humans gained hope. They had survived the initial assault. They had bloodied the nose of a superior force, and they were just getting started. The battle for New Eden was far from over, but one thing was clear. The consortium had made a grave mistake in underestimating humanity's capacity for war, and they were about to learn just how costly that mistake would be. As the space battle raged on, the situation on New Eden grew tense. Governor Sarah Chen knew they couldn't rely solely on their orbital defenses. It was time to show the aliens what humans could do on the ground. "Activate Plan Sigma," she ordered her staff. Eyes widened around the room. Plan Sigma was considered a last resort, a desperate gamble. But desperate times called for desperate measures. In secret underground bunkers, colonists sprang into action. They had trained for this, hoping the day would never come. Now, it was time to put their skills to the test. Meanwhile, in orbit, Captain Michael Okonkwo's fleet was running out of options. "We can't keep this up much longer," Lieutenant Rashid reported, her voice strained. Michael nodded grimly. "Then it's time for some old-fashioned trickery. Prepare Operation Coastlight." On the consortium command ship, Fleet Commander Zixlon was growing frustrated. "Why haven't we crushed these humans yet?" he demanded. Before anyone could answer, alarms blared across the alien fleet. "Sir," an officer called out, "we're detecting hundreds of new energy signatures. It looks like a massive human fleet." Zixlon's eyes widened in shock. "Impossible. Where did they come from?" But as quickly as they appeared, the new ships vanished. The consortium fleet was thrown into chaos, sensors going haywire as phantom ships appeared and disappeared all around them. "It's a trick," Zixlon realized too late. Some kind of holographic projection. Indeed, the human ships had deployed advanced hologram technology, creating the illusion of a much larger fleet. It wasn't meant to fool the aliens for long, but it didn't need to. The few precious moments of confusion were all the humans needed. "Now," Captain Okonkwo ordered. His remaining ships darted forward, striking hard at the disoriented consortium vessels. Two more alien ships erupted in flames before they knew what hit them. On the planet's surface, Sarah Chen gave the signal. Suddenly, the seemingly peaceful landscape of New Eden came alive. Hidden bunkers opened, revealing artillery pieces and missile launchers. They had been disguised as harmless structures: grain silos, water towers, even children's playgrounds. The colonists, now revealed as a well-trained militia, manned their stations with grim determination. At Sarah's command, they opened fire. A hail of missiles streaked up from the planet's surface, catching the alien fleet completely by surprise. The consortium ships, so focused on the space battle, had left their undersides vulnerable. "We're under attack from the surface," Zixlon's second-in-command cried out. But they're just a colony. They shouldn't have this kind of firepower." Zixlon watched in horror as more of his ships fell to the unexpected assault. He had severely underestimated these humans, and now he was paying the price. Back on the planet, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The aliens had expected an easy target, a helpless colony. Instead, they found a hornet's nest, armed to the teeth and ready to fight. But the humans weren't done yet. From the forests and mountains of New Eden, small, agile aircraft emerged. They were unlike anything the consortium had seen before, a mix of Earth tech and locally sourced materials, built in secret by the colonists. These makeshift fighters swarmed the larger alien ships, too small and fast to be easily targeted. They focused on weak points, using their limited weapons with surgical precision. In space, Captain Okonkwo watched the planet's defenses with pride. "That's it," he said to his crew. "Show them what humans can do when our backs are against the wall." The tide of battle was turning. The consortium fleet, once so confident in their superiority, now found themselves outmaneuvered and overwhelmed. Human ingenuity was on full display, turning everyday objects into weapons, using the environment to their advantage. Zixlon couldn't believe what he was seeing. These humans, whom he had dismissed as primitive and weak, were fighting with a creativity and ferocity he had never encountered. They seemed to pull new tricks and weapons out of thin air, adapting to every situation with incredible speed. As another of his ships fell to the planet's defenses, Zixlon made a difficult decision. "All ships, regroup," he ordered. "We need to fall back and reassess our strategy." The consortium fleet began to withdraw, Limping away from the battlefield they thought would be an easy conquest. They left behind the wreckage of their ships and their shattered preconceptions about human warfare. On New Eden, cheers erupted as the aliens retreated. But Sarah Chen and Michael Okonkwo knew this was just the beginning. They had survived the first attack, but the war was far from over. As the adrenaline of battle faded, one thing became clear. The galaxy had severely underestimated humanity's capacity for war, and that mistake would cost them dearly. The victory at New Eden sent shockwaves through human space. Earth's military command was both proud and worried. They had won a battle, but the war was just beginning. Admiral Elena Rodriguez, head of Earth's Defense Force, called an emergency meeting. "We need to send reinforcements to New Eden immediately," she said, her voice firm. "But we also need a plan to end this war before it spreads." As ships from Earth raced towards New Eden, a young officer named Lieutenant Jack Harper caught everyone's attention. He had been studying the consortium's tactics and had an idea. "Admiral," Jack said, standing up, "I think I know how we can beat them." All eyes turned to the young man. Jack swallowed hard but continued. "The consortium relies too much on their advanced technology. They don't expect us to be able to counter it. But what if we could turn their own weapons against them?" Admiral Rodriguez leaned forward, intrigued. "Go on, Lieutenant." Jack explained his plan. It was risky, even crazy, but it just might work. Meanwhile, back at New Eden, Governor Sarah Chen and Captain Michael Okonkwo prepared for the next attack. They knew the consortium would return, and in greater numbers. "Our tricks won't work twice," Sarah said, looking at the planet's defenses. "We need something new." Michael nodded. "We've shown them we can fight. Now we need to show them we can win." As they spoke, Earth's reinforcements arrived. Among them was a ship carrying Lieutenant Jack Harper and a team of Earth's best scientists and engineers. Jack wasted no time. He gathered everyone in the colony's main hall and explained his plan. "The consortium's ships use a unique form of energy," he said. "If we can tap into it, we can disrupt their entire fleet." The plan was daring. They would build a device to capture and redirect the aliens' energy weapons. But to do it, they would need to get close to the enemy fleet. Sarah looked skeptical. "That's practically a suicide mission." Jack nodded. "Yes, but it's our best chance to end this war quickly." As they debated, sensors lit up. The consortium was returning, and their fleet was 3 times larger than before. "We're out of time," Michael said. "We have to try it." Teams worked around the clock to build Jack's device. They used parts from the colony's power plant, pieces of destroyed alien ships, and even kitchen appliances. It was a true example of human ingenuity and desperation. In space, the massive consortium fleet approached. Fleet Commander Zixlon, still smarting from his previous defeat, was taking no chances this time. "Obliterate them," he ordered. "Leave nothing standing." The alien ships opened fire, their energy weapons lighting up space. But this time, the humans were ready. Jack's device, hastily mounted on Captain Okonkwo's ship, sprang to life. It absorbed the incoming energy, growing brighter and brighter. "It's working," Jack shouted over the comm. "Now, redirect it." Michael gave the order. The captured energy shot back at the consortium fleet, amplified and focused. It tore through their shields like they weren't even there. Zixlon watched in horror as his ships began to explode. "How?" he cried. "How are they doing this?" The tables had turned. The very weapons the consortium relied on were now being used against them. Ship after ship fell, unable to defend against their own energy. On New Eden, Sarah Chen watched the battle unfold on her screens. "I can't believe it," she muttered. "We're actually winning." The consortium fleet, once so mighty, was in chaos. Half their ships were destroyed or disabled. The rest were trying to retreat, but the humans pressed their advantage. Jack's plan had worked better than anyone could have hoped. Not only had they defeated a superior force, but they had also captured priceless alien technology in the process. As the last consortium ships fled, cheers erupted throughout human space. They had done the impossible. They had taken on the most powerful force in the galaxy and won. Admiral Rodriguez's voice came over the comm. "Well done, all of you," she said. "Especially you, Lieutenant Harper. Your quick thinking may have just saved humanity." But even as they celebrated, they knew this was just the beginning. The consortium would be back, and next time, they would be ready for human tricks. The galaxy was about to learn a valuable lesson. Never underestimate humanity's ability to adapt, to innovate, and to fight against impossible odds. The war had reached its turning point, and the humans were just getting started. News of the human victory spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Alien civilizations that had never paid much attention to Earth suddenly found themselves talking about nothing else. How had this young, seemingly primitive species defeated the mighty consortium? On the galactic hub, a massive space station where representatives from various races met, the atmosphere was tense. Diplomats from 100 worlds gathered to discuss the implications of the human triumph. Zarn, a tall, blue-skinned alien from a distant world, addressed the assembly. "We can no longer ignore the humans," he said, his voice echoing in the grand hall. "They have proven themselves to be far more dangerous than we thought." Murmurs of agreement filled the room. Some aliens looked worried, others intrigued. A few even seemed excited at the prospect of a new power in the galaxy. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the mood was jubilant. People celebrated in the streets, hailing the heroes of New Eden. Lieutenant Jack Harper, whose brilliant plan had turned the tide of battle, found himself thrust into the spotlight. In a press conference broadcast across human space, Jack stood beside Admiral Rodriguez and the other leaders of Earth's defense forces. He looked uncomfortable with all the attention but spoke clearly. "We won this battle," Jack said, "but the war is far from over. The consortium will be back, and they'll be better prepared. We need to be ready." His words sobered the celebrations somewhat, reminding everyone of the challenges ahead. But they also sparked a wave of innovation and determination across human colonies. On New Eden, Governor Sarah Chen and Captain Michael Okonkwo were busy coordinating defenses and studying the alien technology they had captured. Every piece of consortium equipment was a potential key to new discoveries. "Look at this," Sarah said, pointing to a strange device. "Their communication systems are far more advanced than ours. If we can reverse engineer this, we could revolutionize our own tech." Michael nodded, impressed. "And their energy weapons. If we can adapt these for our ships, we'll be on more even footing in the next battle." As humans worked to improve their defenses, the consortium was in turmoil. The defeat at New Eden had shaken their confidence to the core. Many member races began to question their leadership. In a secret meeting of the Consortium High Council, heated arguments broke out. "We underestimated the humans," shouted one counselor, slamming his tentacle on the table. "We must crush them now, before they grow too strong." Another counselor disagreed. "No, this war was a mistake from the beginning. We should sue for peace while we still can." The debate raged on, with no clear consensus in sight. The once unified consortium was fracturing under the pressure of their unexpected defeat. Back in human space, not everyone was celebrating. Some saw the war as an opportunity for profit or power. Corporations began developing new weapons, hoping to cash in on the conflict. Politicians used the threat of alien invasion to push their agendas. Admiral Rodriguez watched these developments with concern. "We must be careful," she told her staff. "This war could change us, and not necessarily for the better." But there was no stopping the wave of change sweeping across human civilization. People who had once dreamed of peaceful exploration of the stars now found themselves preparing for a war that could determine the fate of their species. On distant alien worlds, attitudes towards humans were shifting. Some races, impressed by human ingenuity and bravery, began to reach out in secret, offering alliance or trade. Others, fearful of this new threat, began to fortify their own defenses. The galaxy was holding its breath, waiting to see what the humans would do next. Would they push their advantage and strike at the heart of the consortium? Or would they seek a peaceful resolution to the conflict? As the dust settled from the Battle of New Eden, one thing was clear: the galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity had announced its presence on the galactic stage in the most dramatic way possible, and now all eyes were on Earth. In his small office on New Eden, Lieutenant Jack Harper looked out at the stars. He couldn't help but wonder what new challenges awaited them out there. Whatever came next, he knew that humanity would face it the same way they had faced the consortium, with courage, creativity, and an unwavering determination to survive. The war had only just begun, and the true test of humanity's strength was yet to come. 6 months had passed since the Battle of New Eden. The galaxy held its breath, waiting for the next move in this cosmic chess game. It didn't have to wait long. Deep in consortium space, Fleet Commander Zixlon had been planning. His defeat at New Eden still burned in his mind. This time, he growled to his officers, "We will crush the humans once and for all." The consortium had gathered its largest fleet ever, thousands of ships, each bristling with weapons, prepared for the final assault on human space. On Earth, Admiral Rodriguez received the news with grim determination. "They're coming," she announced to the gathered leaders, "and they're bringing everything they have." The room fell silent. Everyone knew what was at stake. If they lost this battle, humanity might not get another chance. Lieutenant Jack Harper, now promoted to captain, stepped forward. "Admiral," he said, "I have a plan. It's risky, but it might be our only shot." All eyes turned to Jack as he outlined his strategy. It was bold, perhaps even crazy. But in the face of overwhelming odds, crazy might be exactly what they needed. As the consortium fleet approached, humanity prepared for war like never before. Every ship, every weapon, every able-bodied person was called into service. This was humanity's final stand. Governor Sarah Chen coordinated the evacuation of civilian populations from frontier colonies. "We can't let what happened on New Eden happen again," she said, her voice firm. "This time, we fight on our terms." Captain Michael Okonkwo, now in command of Earth's flagship, the Defiant, led the front lines. His ship, enhanced with reverse-engineered alien tech, stood ready to face the coming storm. The day of battle arrived. The sky above Earth darkened as the massive consortium fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel. It was a sight to strike fear into the bravest heart. Thousands of alien ships, stretching as far as the eye could see. Zixlon's voice boomed across all frequencies. "Humans, your time is at an end. Surrender now, and we may show mercy." Admiral Rodriguez's response was short and to the point. "We will never surrender. Humanity stands ready to fight." With those words, the greatest battle in human history began. The space around Earth erupted in fire and light as thousands of ships clashed. At first, it seemed hopeless. The consortium's numbers were overwhelming. Human ships fell by the dozens, their sacrifice buying precious time for Jack's plan to unfold. "Hold the line," Michael shouted from the bridge of the Defiant. His ship danced through the battlefield, its enhanced weapons tearing through alien defenses. On Earth, Sarah coordinated the ground defenses. Massive cannons fired into space, their shells guided by advanced AI, to strike at the heart of the enemy fleet. But the true key to victory lay with Jack Harper. While the main battle raged, he led a small elite team on a desperate mission. Their target, the consortium's command ship. Using stealth technology developed from their earlier victories, Jack's team slipped past the enemy's lines. They boarded Zixlon's flagship, fighting their way through alien corridors. "We're in," Jack reported back to Admiral Rodriguez. Initiating Phase 2. Back in the main battle, things looked grim for humanity. Despite their bravery, they were being pushed back. Earth's defenses were starting to crumble. "We can't hold much longer," Michael called out, his ship taking heavy fire. Just when all seemed lost, Jack's voice crackled over the comm. Package delivered. All ships, initiate Protocol Omega. Suddenly, every human ship disengage, retreating at full speed. The consortium, confused by this apparent surrender, pressed their attack. That's when Jack's plan was revealed. The package was a virus, uploaded directly into the consortium's central command systems. As the alien fleet moved to finish off the humans, their ships suddenly lost power. What's happening? Zixlon cried out in panic. Why aren't our weapons working? The tables had turned. Now it was the human fleet that surged forward, striking at the defenseless consortium ships. The battle became a rout. In the chaos, Zixlon's flagship exploded, taking the alien commander with it. Without leadership, the remaining consortium ships began to retreat. As the dust settled, cheers erupted across human space. Against all odds, they had won. Humanity had faced its greatest threat and emerged victorious. Admiral Rodriguez's voice, tired but proud, addressed the fleet. Well done, everyone. Today, we've secured our place in the galaxy. The war is over. We've won. As the celebrating began, Jack Harper looked out at the stars. He knew that this victory would change everything. Humanity was no longer the newcomer in galactic affairs. They had proven, beyond any doubt, that they were a force to be reckoned with. The galaxy would never be the same again, and humanity was ready to take its place among the stars. The galaxy buzzed with excitement and fear. Humanity, once considered a primitive species barely worth noticing, had defeated the mighty consortium. The impossible had happened, and now everyone wanted to know. What would the humans do next? On Earth, parades filled the streets. People cheered for their heroes. Admiral Rodriguez, Governor Sarah Chen, Captain Michael Okonkwo, and especially Captain Jack Harper, whose bold plan had won the war. But in quiet offices and secret meetings, Earth's leaders faced a new challenge. They had won the war, but now they had to win the peace. Admiral Rodriguez addressed the United Earth Council. "We've proven we can fight," she said. "Now we must prove we can lead." The council chamber erupted in debate. Some wanted to use their new power to dominate the galaxy. Others argued for a more peaceful approach. In the end, it was Jack Harper who proposed a solution. "We didn't fight this war to become conquerors," he said. "We fought to protect our right to exist. Let's use this victory to build a better galaxy for everyone." His words struck a chord. The council voted to reach out to other races, offering alliance and cooperation instead of demanding submission. Across the stars, alien civilizations watched and waited. Many were afraid, expecting the humans to seek revenge. Others saw an opportunity for a new beginning. On the galactic hub, Earth's ambassadors arrived to a mix of cheers and worried whispers. Sarah Chen, now serving as humanity's chief diplomat, addressed the assembly. "We come in peace," she said, her voice firm but kind. "We've shown we can fight when we must. Now, let us show you that we can be friends, partners, and allies." Her words sent ripples through the galactic community. Slowly, cautiously, alien races began to approach Earth with offers of trade and friendship. But not everyone was happy with the new order. The remnants of the consortium, bitter and angry, plotted in the shadows. They spread rumors and fears about the human menace. Michael Okonkwo, now Admiral of Earth's growing fleet, worked tirelessly to keep the peace. His ships patrolled trade routes, protecting merchants of all species from pirates and raiders. On distant worlds, humans and aliens began to work together. They shared knowledge, culture, and technology. Slowly, the fears and prejudices of the past began to fade. Jack Harper found himself leading a new initiative. The Galactic University, he called it. A place where beings from all worlds could come to learn and teach. "We won because we were underestimated," Jack told his first class of alien students. "Let's make sure that never happens to anyone again." As years passed, the galaxy changed. The old power structures crumbled, replaced by new alliances and friendships. Earth became a center of innovation and diplomacy, respected and admired by many. But challenges remained. Not every alien race welcomed the new order. Some still saw humans as a threat, while others resented their rapid rise to power. Sarah Chen, addressing the Galactic Council on the 10th anniversary of the war's end, acknowledged these concerns. "We're not perfect," she said. "We've made mistakes, and we'll make more. But we're committed to building a galaxy where all species can thrive together." Her words were met with applause from some, silent nods from others. The path ahead would not be easy, but humanity was ready to face it. In orbit around Earth, a monument was built. A massive sculpture showing hands of different species joined together. It stood as a reminder of how far they had come, and how far they still had to go. Admiral Rodriguez, now retired, stood with Jack Harper, watching the monument's unveiling from a view screen. "Did you ever imagine it would end like this?" she asked. Jack shook his head. "Never. But I'm glad it did." As they watched, ships from 100 worlds flew past the monument, their lights blinking in salute. Each one carried beings who had once been enemies, now working together to explore the stars. The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson. Never again would they underestimate humanity. But more importantly, they had learned the power of cooperation, of putting aside differences to work towards a common goal. As night fell on Earth, people looked up at the stars with new eyes. The galaxy was no longer a place of fear and unknown threats. It was a realm of endless possibilities, of new friends waiting to be met, of adventures yet to come. They had proven they could fight. Now, humanity was ready to prove they could lead, learn, and grow. The war was over, but their greatest journey was just beginning.